Vlad doing?
He's better. He was at practice this morning. We tried to kind of limit his reps just so he can get his wind back. He's eating some food now. He was struggling to eat the last couple of days, so I think he'll be ready to go by the weekend. So he was running up and down the floor today.
There's like a flu type thing?
Yeah, it just hit him randomly. He was fine, and then he came to practice the next day. He was kind of like sick, so we let him sit out and shoot around, and we didn't see him at all until game time the other night. So he's a warrior. He's a guy that kind of, if I can give you guys 4 minutes, it's more than enough.
And on the Rutgers side, they got their best players in this last game. I mean, how do you kind of figure that? Is that he won't play, or?
Yeah, we're gonna prepare just like he's playing. He's such a big piece to what they do. We would be, I guess, negligent to not prepare. So we'll have 2 game plans to kind of prepare if he's not, and then another one if he's there.
Then of course the other star, Ace Bailey, had a pretty decent night last night. I don't know, just your thoughts about what the problems he presents.
Yeah, struggled to get some sleep last night because of him. But no, he's just such a really good scorer. I mean, those 2 players are probably, 1, 2, or 3 in this year's draft. So, we talked to our guys about, taking the challenge as a group. It's not going to be a one-person deal to guard him. We need to take the challenge as a group. But he's just a legit scorer at all 3 levels. He plays with so much passion. The one thing that really stands out about him is that he really plays defense and he loves his teammates. I mean, you could see his energy last night when somebody else made a play, how excited he was for them. So, it's hard to find guys that really, really care about their teammates, passionate, and with the skill level that he has.
And then, I guess, building off of Penn State, how the last few days of practice been? I mean, did that sort of boost things, I guess, to use Trey Donaldson for us?
Yeah, it's been good for us. I thought, we really challenged the guys after the Purdue game to just compete harder in every single drill, to work, to challenge your teammates, to make practice harder for the guy that you guard in practice. And we did a great job of it. And, we had 18, I guess Penn State had 18 turnovers, and that was one of the areas that we talked about, just being more active defensively, get some deflections. And then we only turned the ball over 9 times. So both of those things were what we talked about and worked towards, and to be able to see it the next game, because a lot of times it happens, 2 games later. But by it happening right away, it kind of reinforces, guys, we can be this type of team if we just kind of put that effort in every single practice. So today was kind of, we went yesterday at like 3:30, and then to get them up this morning to go again. Another area to challenge them to circumstances won't be great all the time. You got to be able to kind of work through it.
I think 6 of the 9 turnovers you guys had led to points or a foul on you guys. I mean, how do you kind of balance that where they were limited, but how do you maybe prevent the ones where they're runouts or a foul, or is it transition defense, or what is the issue, I guess?
No, it's exactly what you said. We call them pick sixes in football. Like, it's like a pick six where you can't set your defense. We have a really, really good defense when our defense is set. But those aren't even transitions. It's just throw it away and it's like a layup. So we're trying to limit those. And again, we talk about that. You take those points away. The game was a lot closer than it. I think we could have separated a little bit more. Take those points away and finish around the basket a little better. But yeah, I mean, that's something we talk about in practice. Like, now it's come to a point where if it happens in practice, we have to stop and figure out, okay, what's the solution next time for you not to do that? So, early in the year, we try to let them learn through their mistakes, and now it's kind of like, no, it's time to figure out why we're doing this.
Danny, you mentioned missing some shots around the rim. He missed a few. Some other guys did too. It wasn't just him. But any reason for that lately? Maybe the dip in the shooting around the rim, or was it this last game because he was at the 5 and they had a bigger guy on him? Or I guess what did you see there? Yeah,
there's another area that we've been working on, but we talked about it a lot. Just finishing around the basket with more power and going to finish and not looking for fouls. And as wild as it may sound, we were actually really, really excited about how we finished with power. Now, the result was missed layups, but again, we're very, very process oriented. So if we can continue to go to the basket, power dribbles, finish through contact, at some point we're going to make those shots, and that's what it looks like when you play against the better teams, which we hope to play in February, March later on. We'll see.
Amari's been kind of like the guy who Dusty's used his deficiency. I wonder, is Roddy maybe the guy you're using? Is like, he seems like he's taking the ball to the rack pretty well.
I mean, even his dunk, or his missed dunk,
Yeah.
it was another area where, of course we want the 2 points, but Roddy, this is what we need from you when you attack the basket. Danny, when you go to the basket, power dribble, go through the guy's chest. So again, those things are long-term things we're trying to get to, but it's good to win games when you're still working on things, right? You know what I mean? It'd be a lot different if you lose these games when you're like, we gotta miss 1 or 2 layups. But we're working towards it, and I think we're getting better, and the guys are buying into trying to play the way we're talking about.
For you guys offensively, as teams start to adjust and maybe get more physical with you guys, things like that, where do you feel you're at with, countering those adjustments and figuring things out?
Yeah, just off-ball movement, which we're trying to get out in transition a little more. Teams are doing a better job of keeping us out of transition by not sending as many guys to the glass. So we're trying to, figure out a way on made baskets. Let's get it out quick, get down before defense gets set. But we just being able to get guys into screens. Teams have been trying to knock us off of the screen. So, I mean, it's a challenge to our guys. We got to play more physical. This is a physical league. They're not going to let us play finesse all the time. So we have to match their physicality.
Is this kind of typical for a college basketball season where, like, at this point, there's enough tape that
Yes.
now it's the counter to the counter? This is kind of the time of year.
100%. So now you have to kind of go to the next option. I mean, everybody has been talking about the 4 or 5 ball screen, and the other teams have really good coaches and really good players. So their job is to take you out of what you want to do best. And now it's our job, like you said, to counter that and figure out ways to get to it in maybe another way, or just get to the second option of it.
You're not going to tell the opponent what the next counter is, but I guess is Trey, in his aggressiveness, especially second half last game, I mean, is that a potential answer, just kind of having the ball in his hands a little bit more?
Yeah, he's our best playmaker. So just finding ways to get him the ball, get into his strong hand, and his ability to make shots off the bounce is a added thing that, if you can make a shot off the bounce with his speed, now when they're pressing up to him, he can get to the basket a little more. And just his confidence, when Trey plays with that type of confidence and swagger, you can see our entire unit is like feeding off of his energy, and even the crowd. I mean, he's one of the guys that can kind of get everybody in the arena going. So again, to your point, he's a valuable piece to what we want to do.
I guess what do you make from his bounce back against Purdue? Because I mean, he was ready for that game going into it, and then it was not his night.
A warrior. He came the film session after the Purdue game. He came in and was accountable to the entire team. He guys, I'll be better. That's not the Trey Donaldson that you see going forward. And so anytime someone comes in and they have the humility to be accountable for what, it wasn't a great game, he has a chance. And I think by him stepping up and owning it in the locker room in front of his teammates, it was for sure a chance for him to be able to come out and do what he did. So,
And he just did that by himself.
Yeah, it was kind of on his own. I mean, he had watched some film with Coach made by itself. But when he came in and we started talking about, each possession, he stood up and just basically, hey guys, I'll be better. And again, that's an area when you have your point guard leader talking to your team like that, gives everybody else confidence. And then to be able to back it up with the performance he had, it also gives us confidence.
From your experience, like, do you maybe need games like that where nothing goes right, but then something comes of it? Trey walks in and maybe that's a turning point. 100%.
I felt like those games have been going the other way against us. Earlier in the year, the games that we lost, the one possession, the 4-point play, all these different things that have happened with us where we were on the other end of it. Kind of feel like we were due for one.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it shows those guys that we can win these close games. We can win these things where things don't go right, but we find a way, because that's what it takes. Again, in February, March, and however long you can play after that.
We're going to talk to Justin Pippen here in a bit. I mean, what do you like about his progress and the progress of that freshman class heading to February here?
They're just continuous learners, like just coming into film every single day, coming to get extra work. So most of the guys that played a lot of minutes, they didn't practice hard yesterday. but those like Pippen and LJ and those guys came in and they had a real practice, and no one complained, but it's just about them getting better. And I think offensively he came in and he settled us down. He's such a calm demeanor for a freshman, and you can kind of see his growth and his maturity in a lot of areas.
With Rutgers, talked about the two-star freshmen, but I guess what else about them sort of as a team stands out to you?
I thought what they did last night was really impressive to be without Dylan Harper, and sometimes what that does is it gives other guys confidence, right? That they normally, they don't get those shots. So now we're going to play Rutgers with some other guys with confidence now to make plays. So it presents another challenge. And again, if Harper plays or not, A-Cup comes out and makes some big shots. Those guys are ready to play and they feel good about it. So I think that'll be a challenge. Again, they're so passionate. They have a joy of playing the game, regardless. And it starts with their main two guys. Like I said, with Ace, he plays with so much passion that if you're on his team, you have to play with the same amount of energy. And so I think they present a lot of challenges to where we have to be ready to play because, again, those guys are 1, 2, or 3 in the draft next year, and then you have some other guys that are playing with confidence now too. So.
You mentioned ACUF, I guess just Detroit.
Yep.
Kid, do you ever worry about sort of when the local team goes back and they kind of want to put on a show like when that guy plays Minnesota? Sort of?
Yeah, I always think it's a real thing. I mean, you grew up watching the team and you're from the area. You grew up watching, Michigan basketball, and then you play against this. It's a level of excitement that you have to kind of, calm yourself down from. But it does matter. I think it matters to guys.
Anything else?
Trey McKinney, McDonald's All-American. I guess thoughts on having one of those guys coming into the program?
I'm good with that, right?
Yeah, you can.
Excited for Trey. He deserves it. Just getting to know him over the last year. I don't know if I've seen a kid work so hard as a high school player and be so humble while doing it. He's probably doing something right now, like working out. But for us as a program, it's 100% great. And but the things that I think stand out the most is what he represents. Such a good, humble person. So not only do you have a really good McDonald's All-American basketball player coming in, you have a real human being who's coming here, who's no ego, wants to get better, and is for the team. So we were excited for him, his family, and excited to get him here after.
Okay, cool.
Appreciate